Luke 9:23-27. And he said to them all, and see. Not only to his disciples, as mentioned by Matthew, but to the people also, whom, Mark observes, he called unto him, as well as his disciples, to hear the very important doctrine which he was about to deliver, contained in this paragraph, of which see the notes on Matthew 16:24-27, and Mark 8:34-38. Let him deny himself and take up his cross. The necessity of this duty has been shown in many places, the extent of it is specified here. Daily therefore, that day is lost wherein no cross is taken up. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, in Mark we read, when he had called the people unto him, and his disciples also, he said unto them, and in Luke, he said to them all, if any man will come after me epsilon iota tau iota theta epsilon lambda epsilon iota, if any man be willing, no one is forced, but if any will be a Christian, it must be on the following terms. Let him deny himself, a rule that can never be too much observed. Let him in all things deny his own will, however pleasing, and do the will of God, however painful. And take up his cross. Of the origin and meaning of this phrase, see note on Matthew 10:38. And we may here further learn, that after having undergone many afflictions and trials, the disciples of Christ may still look for more, which, when laid upon them, they must endeavor, by the grace of God, to sustain with equal patience, following their Master in the footsteps of his sufferings. This, indeed, is a very hard and difficult lesson, but at the same time it is absolutely necessary. Because if we grow impatient under sufferings, and endeavor to avoid the crosses which God is pleased to lay upon us, we shall displease God, grieve his Spirit, and bring ourselves under guilt and condemnation. And should we not consider all crosses, all things grievous to flesh and blood, as what they really are, as opportunities of embracing God's will, at the expense of our own? And consequently as so many steps by which we may advance in holiness? We should make a swift progress in the spiritual life, if we were faithful in this practice. Crosses are so frequent, that whoever makes advantage of them will soon be a great gainer. Great crosses are occasions of great improvement, and the little ones which come daily, and even hourly, make up in number what they want in weight. We may, in these daily and hourly crosses, make effectual oblations of our will to God, which oblations, so frequently repeated, will soon amount to a great sum. Let us remember, then, what can never be sufficiently inculcated, that God is the author of all events, that none is so small or inconsiderable as to escape his notice and direction. Every event, therefore, declares to us the will of God, to which, thus declared, we should heartily submit. We should renounce our own to embrace it. We should approve and choose what his choice warrants as best for us. Herein should we exercise ourselves continually, this should be our practice all the day long. We should in humility accept the little crosses that are dispensed to us, as those that best suit our weakness. Let us bear these little things, at least, for God's sake, and prefer his will to our own in matters of so small importance. And his goodness will accept these mean oblations, for he despiseth not the day of small things. Whosoever will save his life at the expense of his conscience, whosoever, in the very highest instance, that of life itself, will not renounce himself, shall be lost eternally. But can any man hope he should be able thus to renounce himself, if he cannot do it in the smallest instances? And whosoever will lose his life, shall find it. What he loses on earth he shall find in heaven. To carry home the argument more closely, he puts them in mind of the method according to which men estimate things. If God should offer the riches of Solomon, the strength of Samson, the policy of Ahithophel, the beauty of Absalom, the eloquence of Apollos, universal monarchy, and all kinds of pleasures, and should say, take them for 1 hour, and then die, who is the man that would not immediately reject the proposed condition, and reply, that life is better than them all? But will men forego every earthly thing for life, the life of the body? And will they not part with them, nay, and with life itself, for their souls? since the longest any one can enjoy this life with its pleasures, is, in comparison of eternity, no longer than he enjoys the good things mentioned, who dies in the same hour he receives them. McKnight. Or, what shall a man give in exchange for his soul, namely, at the day of judgment? For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father, for you may certainly depend upon it that, howsoever he may be now despised and rejected of men, there is a day appointed when he will come in all the glory of the Godhead, encircled in the most pompous manner with his holy angels, and then shall he convene the whole world before him, that he may determine the final happiness or misery of each, and recompense every man according to his conduct. Thus, that the argument, by which the necessity of self-denial is so clearly established, might have the greater weight, our Lord speaks more particularly concerning the rewards and punishments of a future state, assuring his disciples that they are all to be distributed by himself, the Father having appointed him the universal judge, so that his enemies cannot flatter themselves with the hope of escaping condign punishment, nor his friends be in the least afraid of losing their reward.